Hello and welcome to this episode of the Dynamics 365 Accelerate Program videos, where today we're going to be taking a look at Dynamics 365 Business Central. Not only are you going to see a really cool demo of Business Central, but we're also going to have a look at where that fits in the Microsoft ecosystem as an SMB solution. And we're going to look at the advantages of utilizing Business Central, why would your customers want to, and changes in the market. So let's take a deeper dive into Dynamics 365 Business Central. And firstly, before going into the application in more detail, what I want to do is just take a look at why would you want to transact Dynamics 365? What's the value to you and what's the value to your customers? So firstly, with Dynamics 365, we're going to look at the whys. Firstly, why, if you're not currently transacting Dynamics, why aren't you? And basically, we've created a Dynamics 365 Accelerate program, which enables you to look at all those reasons why maybe you're not currently transacting Dynamics, and we just make them not a problem anymore. So whether your sales team isn't ready to have those conversations, you've never done it before, you don't have the skill set, you don't want to take focus away from your current business, that's fine. We do all of that for you, which I'll go into in a bit more detail. But I want to spend some time looking at actually why you should be transacting Dynamics 365. I mean, one of the first key points that we see is around churn rates. Now, we actually see statistically, and this is a global statistic as well, that Microsoft 365, traditional Microsoft 365 resellers tend to have a churn rate of around 25%. And that's not customers moving from Microsoft onto G Suites or anything like that. So Microsoft don't see that churn, but the partners are seeing it. And actually, when you add Dynamics 365 into your offering, we see that churn rate drop to less than 5%, which is incredible. So you're looking at, going from that churn rate, 25 to 30%, right down to less than 5%. And actually, if you're a reseller that's transacting Microsoft 365, Azure, and Dynamics, that churn rate drops to less than 1%. You become very sticky to your customers. You become that one-stop shop. And it's just, really great value. So not only do you keep more of your revenue, you're adding a new revenue stream. And as we're going to look at shortly, you're going to grow your existing revenue streams as well. So you can increase the average revenue per user by 80% on Office 365 users. So great increase in revenue there. And one thing we also see is if you transact Dynamics into an Azure consuming customer, you're likely to double their spend over time. Now, don't get me wrong, the total cost of ownership for the end customer ends up being less, but actually their Azure spend is going to double. So it's that really incredible value that you can actually lower their spend, but lower their overall spend, but increase their spend with yourself, which is really valuable. And actually, you're going to get all their business into the cloud, which again is really valuable. And then you've got the Azure penetration as well. We see that you're actually 10 times more likely to transact Azure following a Dynamics 365 sale over an Office 365 sale. So again, it really shows the value of Dynamics. Dynamics is that beachhead product. Once you have Dynamics 365, you're going to want Microsoft 365. You're going to want Azure. So those applications and solutions just follow. And we've seen partners that have added Dynamics 365 into their offering and have actually grown their revenue on Azure around 300% year on year. And just for reference, Microsoft 365 has grown 80 to 100% year on year. So massive growth in those two revenue streams, as well as the growth in Dynamics as a new revenue stream. And as you're about to see, the highest Microsoft rebates for our silver and gold partners. So Dynamics 365, this is in the UK, has a rebate of up to 31%, whereas Microsoft 365 and Azure have only up to 14%. So depending on the SKU and depending on the deal size, you're looking at a very good rebate. And not only that, but also some of the best margins when it comes to Microsoft solutions as well. Anything from 24 to 30% margin, dependent again on the SKU. So you really start to see that the revenue potential for a reseller transacting Dynamics is pretty big. And actually, by leaving Dynamics 365 out of your offering, you're risking losing that customer. Not only are you not taking on about 40% of the tech spend in your end customer, so you're gifting another partner all that revenue, but what you're also doing is potentially hindering your own business with that customer. And this goes back to the churn. You think about it, if you're not offering those solutions and someone else is, then they could take all that Office 365 business, they could offer them Azure, but Also, the other problem that we see is that those customers are then maybe pushed onto another CRM or ERP solution, let's say Salesforce, for example, and then pushed towards AWS. So you're actually hindering your own Azure business by not transacting Dynamics 365. And again, I'm going to get onto it later, but we've actually made it very easy for you to start transacting Dynamics with no risk and no investment, but I will come to that shortly. As you can see, the opportunity is massive for you, and it's also big for the end customers. We see a return on investment for end customers. This was actually a study that was done recently, completely independent. It wasn't a Microsoft study, but but customers using Dynamics 365 see a return on investment for every dollar spent of $16.97. So the return on investment is massive, and that goes back to that churn rate again. If you're adding that much return on investment for your customers, adding that much value, they're going to want to stay with you for longer. And again, I'm just going to reiterate that point. You become that one-stop shop for your customers. You won't lose them, and you're going to add so much value. And before we take a look at Business Central and I hand you over to our Dynamics 365 Solutions Architect, Ed Smith, what I wanted to do is spend a bit of time actually just discussing why Business Central. So what we're going to have a look at now is just some of a few key market statistics that will really highlight the opportunity with Dynamics 365 Business Central. You can see here 95% of companies improve their processes following an ERP implementation. So you're going to be massively supporting your customers, supporting their business, and really helping them improve their productivity, improve their overall business processes once you're enabling them with Business Central. 61% of UK CIOs store over half of their ERP data on the cloud. So you're really starting to see that transition now of more and more organizations moving to the cloud. And it's those organizations that are seeing better growth, seeing better productivity, seeing better conversions, better customer experiences. And Business Central really does allow organizations to do that. Among the popular reasons for implementing ERP are to improve business performance, 64% say that, to position a company for growth, 57% say that, and to reduce working capital, 57% say that. I think this one's really important as well when it comes to Dynamics 365 and Business Central in particular. It really is that solution that's not only going to help an organization grow, improve business processes, and really reduce overall cost of ownership, but actually is going to be a solution that's going to help an organization grow and grow with them as well. 65% of small businesses are enlisting the services of ERP consultants. So that's a big number. There are so many organizations right now that sit in the SMB sector that are currently, on the lookout for a new solution that's going to help them grow, help them develop, potentially looking at cheaper options as well that, might be okay right now, but are going to really prevent them and hinder them from growing further. And they're very quickly going to outgrow those solutions. So you're better off speaking with your customers now rather than letting them get to a point where it's a desperation move because they are quickly outgrowing solutions like QuickBooks and so on. Owners of SMBs prefer using ERP systems instead of standalone solutions because it can reduce operational costs by 11%, standardize back office processes by 77%, and give them real-time visibility into their data by 48%. So there really is a good, percentage of numbers there of people that are saying that by, really getting a good ERP solution, what it's doing for them as a business. And I think one of those that's really important is getting that real-time visibility into their data. And Business Central and Dynamics 365 on the whole really allows organizations to do that, whether that's looking at their own workforce or whether that's looking at their customer base, getting that 365-degree view to be able to provide personalized experience for customers, to be able to optimize a workforce, be able to really improve productivity, and really, improve the entire business and really help an organization grow. That's what you get from Dynamics 365 Business Central. So some real key statistics there in the market that shows that, organizations, whether they're small, medium, large enterprise businesses, it doesn't matter. The small businesses are out there and they're looking for new ERP solutions that are going to help them grow. And that's exactly where Business Central fits in. And we're definitely not done yet. There are a few more key market statistics that I really wanted to highlight as part of this video. That it really enables you to see that just what Business Central really can do for an organization, no matter how small. The full capabilities of Business Central with project management, operation management, finance, reporting and analytics, supply chain, sales and customer service. It really does have the great capabilities to enable an SMB organization to do so much more. So we're just going to carry on now and just have a look at a few more market statistics that are going to highlight this. You can see here, cloud-hosted ERP is cheaper than on-premise solutions by 30%. So we've already discussed how Business Central is really going to enable an organization to grow and actually grow with them. It's actually a cheaper solution as well, so they're going to get a massive return on investment. In fact, a recent study was done that for every dollar spent on Dynamics 365, the return on investment is $16.97. So not only are they going to get a massive return on investment and create more revenue opportunities, they're actually going to reduce their overall cost of ownership as well. 72% of executives believe that AI in the enterprise is a business advantage for the future. So this is ideal. This is perfect. This is a perfect statement because AI really is enabling organizations to do so much more. For example, in Dynamics 365 Business Central, I don't want to steal too much of Ed's thunder in the demo later on, but actually, in Business Central, let's say you're going from email to quote. You receive an email from a client, they're asking for a product, they're asking for a number of products. Now, wouldn't it be great if within Outlook you could actually, the technology would recognize the email and build a quote based on the information in that email to save the seller time on having to actually switch into a different application, find the price, find the product, build out a quote, attach it, save it down as a PDF, attach it to the email and send back. Business Central actually allows you to do that. You can go from email to quote in a matter of minutes or even seconds, rather than having to go in and out of different applications. You can do it right from within Outlook. And that's just one example of AI being utilized there from Business Central. But AI is the future, and it really does enable organizations to do so much more, be more productive, make better informed decisions, better, real-time view of their data, and having that analysis of the data as well. So Business Central is definitely a key one when it comes to AI. 48% of SMBs are currently planning to engage in activities that will help them adapt and transform their business for a digital future. Now, this statistic, with everything that has gone on in the world, with the global pandemic, I would say is probably a higher number now because of the amount of organizations that have moved into a remote working environment. Everyone working from home. I can't count the number of organizations I've talked to that have decided to basically not go back to the office. They're not renewing their leases on their offices because they can do everything from home. So I would say that number is maybe a bit higher now, but this was the percentage at the time of recording, building this PowerPoint. But even so, even with that number of 48%, that's a massive number of small, medium-sized businesses that are looking at new solutions to help them move forward with digital transformation. So there's definitely a big opportunity here in the channel. 36% of SMBs are already implementing activities to support digital transformation. Again, that's a very high number, and again, that's probably even higher now. But a really high number of those that are already doing those activities to enable them to move forward with digital transformation. And the opportunity with Business Central and for our partners that we can do this for you is massive. Top investment areas are decision making, customer experience, and employee productivity. Now, you're probably expecting me to say that Business Central can do all these things, and it can. From a decision-making perspective, utilizing the 360-degree view of an organization's data, utilizing AI to make real-time, smart, informed decisions. Customer experience, I've already kind of mentioned being able to provide that personalized customer experience. Again, a 360-degree view of a customer. Any queries that they've made, any complaints that they've ever done, their selling, their buying habits, everything all in one place, that real-time view of that data to enable you to do so much more for your customers. And it's going to drive employee productivity. I've already used the email to quote example there of how that, you can imagine how much that is improving productivity, but being able to do so much more, in Microsoft Teams and just within Business Central itself, all that data in one place, not having to go on to different solutions, different systems, speak to different people. It's all there at the fingertips. So it really is driving productivity as well. I'm just going to hand you over to our Dynamics 365 Solutions Architect, Ed Smith, or Ed as a service, as I call him, who's going to be taking you through Dynamics 365 Business Central. And if you do like what you see, we do actually provide this service to our partners for their end customers. So we will happily jump on end customer calls with you, with your end customers, to help scope out opportunities to demo Dynamics 365. Whatever you need, that's what we're here for. And we provide all this service completely free of charge to our partners.
Business Central is a business management application from Microsoft targeting the small to medium enterprise marketplace. So typically implementing and scaling from a single user through tens of users up to hundreds of users. Today's session is fairly short. We'll keep this to about 15 minutes. So it's an introduction or a light touch on Business Central. Before I take a look at the product, I just want to use this ecosystem slide just to show that if you choose to invest in Business Central, you're giving yourself the opportunity to invest in the rest of the ecosystem, all from Microsoft single-authored solutions. And the scope allows us to expand potentially from a granular or a modular level like Business Central to include Sales Professional for CRM, for instance, across to mixed reality, the HoloLens with a heads-up display to empower field service workers and have that hooked back into base. Each of the applications sits on a common data service, and that means that we can share data from the applications across to the Power Platform. So we've got business intelligence for reporting and Power Apps for mobile application development that an end user can generate themselves without having to be IT specialists. Full integration with Office 365 products, so the familiar look and feel, the familiar powerful tools, including Teams and Excel, for instance. And we'll look at SharePoint, so document storage that we want to make accessible through our enterprise systems. Don't always have to be inward looking. We've got pre-configured connectors to third-party applications, so that approach of application program interfaces so that we can integrate with and reach out to external sources. Everything hosted on Azure services. So cloud hosted, your data will be protected and comply with local legislation regardless of which region or which part of the world you're working in. High-level scoping for Business Central. Everything wrapped around a very, very strong financial management core. As organizations, we all need to deal with finance first and foremost. Sales and service management allows us, from a selling perspective, if you're an organization that buys an inventory, stocks inventory, and distributes inventory, we've got the selling, we've got the supply chain management, and we've got the operational management to back that up. If you're more of a services organization, so not physical inventory, but selling professional services, we can cover that off with fully integrated project management in the jobs module, and I'll touch on that in the demonstration, all backed up with reporting and analytics. I've already mentioned Power BI. We've got reporting within the tool and full integration with Excel. Every user for Business Central has got their own logon and password, and that defines what their landing page will be, as well as their security settings. That can be tied in with Active Directory, so single sign-on. And this landing page is a role-tailored client. So I'm logged on, if I just hover over the tab, as an accountant in Business Central. So if my primary role is to manage cash flow, deal with inbound purchase invoices, for instance, then my landing page is configured to suit what I need to do to add the most value to the organization. These are tiles. So think of it like your favorite functions. So if one of my primary roles, and I'll use this as a quick example of a process flow, If one of my primary roles is managing purchase invoices, then with a single click, I can see a list of all my outstanding purchase invoices. In this case, they're highlighted in red because they're overdue. If I want to see the first invoice, again, single click. So this web browser approach of hyperlinked activity is very familiar to end users, so we don't need to be IT experts before we can start using. So I've got a purchase invoice from the Graphic Design Institute, 10 pieces of a product, in this case, office furniture, the Athens mobile pedestal. If I want to take a quick look at the vendor, because I've got some overdue payments, I might want to think about what else is on order with them if I'm having that discussion about what do I owe you and what am I expecting you to bring into me. So I've got key facts about the vendor displayed on the right hand side without me having to navigate, without having to drill in. We're trying to get your users to be as efficient as possible to get the real data and information that they want at their fingertips. So I can see my outstanding balance. I can also see the value of my outstanding orders. And if I click on the value, that takes me into the list of outstanding purchase orders. And if I want to see that top item, because it's already highlighted, I can jump in and see that document. So in this case, I've got a couple of lines on order. So if I'm in that negotiation process, here's a great reminder from the system. I've run out of inventory that this vendor usually supplies. So they're my preferred supplier for specific inventory items. Based on my inventory management rules or on demand, I might have hit a reorder point. I've got some demand. I'm not going to satisfy them if I don't have that inventory. So with a single click, I could have those inventory items added onto a purchase order, and that's automatically saved. I don't need to go through an action and save it. The reason I wanted to do that, just as a quick run through, is that from my landing page, I jumped into outstanding invoices, saw the vendor, saw a purchase order. The system's reacted with some demand for inventory that will otherwise leave me with unfulfilled sales orders. I've added those to a purchase order and I could release that back to the vendor. And I've done that with 5 or 6 clicks. Every time I've gone through, the tabs have all overlaid each other, so I can move around back between them. So I'm seeing my overall purchasing lines there. And with 5 or 6 clicks, I've jumped through a nice swift process, which I hope just gives you a very quick overview in terms of navigation. We've got functions available in a ribbon style across the top of the screen. Again, that familiarity with office style products frees up lots of space on the screen rather than having menu structures. We've got key highlights, again, hyperlinks. So if I really want to see the detail behind my cash account balance, I can single click and jump into that. Favorite functions on tiles, we can embed help videos as really useful training reminders for our end users. And if I look after specific accounts and specific vendors, rather than going through a menu, make them accessible here. Where I'm looking at managing financial performance, for instance, hover will show me the headline numbers. And if it's accessible, we can click on that and drill down into the data. And if you want to change different chart types, then frankly, find which one suits you. These are out of the box and available to you. So the idea of a landing page, get your users efficient and active and get all the key processes that you need to see on that single screen. Just to show you a slight variant, I'm going to change over to a business manager setting. These are predetermined roles out of the box, so that rather than starting from a blank piece of paper, take the framework, modify as little as possible, and apply that to your users. I'm working on a demo database, absolutely standard. As an end customer, as a reseller, you've got the opportunity with England, with Microsoft, to spin up your own demo environment if you want to increase your familiarity. And in terms of regions and languages, this is a global product, so it will suit the regional territory that you work in with local compliance, local taxation. It's multinational, multi-company, multi-currency, and as you can see, multilingual. Changing my login to be a business manager, I'll just use this to highlight a different landing page so you can get an idea about that role tailor client, and it does give me access to some different functions and different structures in the menu. So I've still got all of my favorite functions. I'm now interested in quotes and sales orders, as well as inbound supplier invoices. I've got some different charts. I've got some activations for pending timesheets, for instance. What you choose to put on this landing page is entirely up to you to configure. For less commonly used, less frequently used activities, I can still use this more traditional menu style of approach. So if I want to jump into finance and hit fixed assets, because I don't access it terribly often, I don't necessarily need that on my landing page. And if I want to see everything that I've got security access to, then I can expand my own menu to see all of the processes and the functions. To give you an idea about the scope within Business Central, I'll just expand this. This brings out all of the main activities in that menu style within Business Central. As I said, everything wrapped around finance, different costing methods, multi-currency, multi-company. If you're moving up from one of the smaller financial management tools, perhaps, and looking to migrate, we can take your opening balances and your master data via spreadsheets and import that into Business Central as your starting point. Covering off some of the key elements, I'm going to come on to purchasing in a moment. We've got service order management. So if you are, for instance, selling laptops and serial tracing inventory inbound through storage and outbound with a warranty, with a service level agreement, and then tracking engineering activities against those, that's where service contract comes in. As you would expect, we're covering off purchasing, we're covering off sales and marketing. So there's a fairly light touch to marketing there in there to be able to generate your own campaigns. Fairly light touch around human resources if you wanted to go more detailed around skill sets. When I mentioned about that granular approach to applications, there is a human resources application that you can take on board and start to think about plugging that back into Business Central. This will give you employees and capabilities and recordings and history and certifications, for instance, along with machine resources, which ties into manufacturing. So we've got the opportunity for master production scheduling, master requirements planning, shop floor planning, production and materials consumption. Worth mentioning at this point, there are levels of licensing within Business Central. So an essentials license will cover 80%, 85% of all the available requirements, for instance, and that hits most business processes for most SME organizations. A premium level license goes further in depth in manufacturing and service management. If you've got users requiring a light touch, you just want to see key performance indicators, reports, and do 2 or 3 transactions, then a team member license is an inexpensive light touch way to access the system. And if you've got an external accountant who might look after your books, we can even license that person to access your system, even though they're not an employee. Warehouse management, right down to multi-location, zone level, down to bin level, put away rules, picking rules, physical counting. I hope you're getting the idea out of this, that in terms of line of business, we've got tremendous scope within Business Central to cover different organizations, different line of business, scalable from a single user up to hundreds of users. And I'll just finish on jobs. If you are, for instance, a professional services organization, then using the jobs module gives us that project style of approach that encompasses both physical items and service items. So in this case, a reception area remodel. We've got consulting. We break down into project phases. We may be doing some pre-sales activity, and we've got physical inventory items, all against timescales, all against budgets, capturing planned and actual all the way through. As I said at the start, this is a very short presentation just to give you a feel, I hope, for the scope of Business Central. If that does raise any questions, my contact details are on the screen. Ingram Micro is a global organization with a global dynamics team. If my UK time zone doesn't suit you, please do reach out to one of our local Dynamics specialists, we will be delighted to engage in a conversation with you around how Business Central can add more value to your organization.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Ed. That was brilliant. So just to really extend on what Ed's gone through there today, a couple of key points here. Growing businesses often outpace their basic accounting software and legacy enterprise resource planning systems, which can't handle the increased demand placed on them. Some of the pain points they experience include inventory, integration with other line of business systems, reporting, mobility, and scalability. I've already kind of mentioned this today, but one thing that we're seeing is a lot of SMB customers are fast outgrowing their current software that they're utilizing, whether that's from a CRM or ERP perspective. And this is really where Business Central can really come in, really help an organization do so much more. And help them grow and actually grow with them, so they don't have to keep changing their software and going through that pain. They do that once, they're on Dynamics 365 and they're good. They can stick with that. Also, Dynamics 365 Business Central connects people and processes through a single unified solution, sharing data seamlessly with key people throughout a company. Having access to the most current, accurate data allows businesses to make the most informed decisions possible. I've already talked around having that 360-degree view of an organization, and it's really valuable. And this is where this data and this solution in Business Central becomes extremely valuable to an organization, having access to all the data, whether that's finance data, sales data, customer service data, HR data. It doesn't matter. It's all in one place and easily accessible, making an organization better productive, being able to do so much more, being able to grow faster, and being able to make those smart, informed decisions by having real-time data at their fingertips. And I think what would be really ideal to do now is just have a look at some of those key benefits of Dynamics 365 Business Central to a SMB organization. Increased visibility across supply chains to gain greater control over purchasing processes. Maximize revenue opportunities and better serve customers with built-in recommendations, manage budgets, and monitor progress of projects with real-time data on all available resources. Accelerate the financial close process and ensure accurate, fully compliant reporting. Industry-leading security measures and privacy policies to safeguard customer data, ensuring regulation requirements are met, for example, GDPR. Connect data across accounting, sales, purchasing, inventory, and customer interactions to provide an end-to-end view of your business. Machine learning and AI to enable businesses to make smarter decisions easier based on data from across the business in real time. So some really key points there, some real key advantages of Dynamics 365 Business Central. And now being able to have attached licenses into Dynamics 365 Sales and Dynamics 365 Customer Service to really expand the capabilities for less is extremely valuable. So for me personally, the benefits of Dynamics 365 Business Central are massive, perfect for an SMB organization, perfect for an organization that's maybe outgrowing their accounting software like QuickBooks Zero. Really is a perfect solution for that end-to-end business solution to enable an SMB organization to do so much more. As I've already said, the return on investment to end customers is massive. For every dollar spent, the return on investment on average is $16.97. So you can add tremendous value to your end customers by enabling them with Dynamics. So what I'm going to do now is spend a bit of time talking about how you too can get started and how you can offer these solutions to your end customer, because if you're not, someone else is going to. And now we've had a look at the application, but not only that, we've had a look at how it's impacting users and how users' roles are actually changing over time with the evolution and digital transformation. So now, really, I want to focus on you as Microsoft resellers and cloud resellers wanting to get started with Dynamics 365 and just show you some of the ways that we can help you get started. And the first thing that you can do today is to get in touch with us. So you'll see our website there across the bottom, microsoft.ingrammicrocloud.com/dynamics. If you go to that website, you'll see the Learn More form that's on the right-hand side of this slide. Complete that form and click Accelerate today, and let's get in touch. Wherever you are on the planet, whether it's North America, Canada, across EMEA, in APAC, we have got the best Dynamics minds on the planet. And we want to support our partners as best as possible and support partners that potentially aren't ours yet, that want to grow a Dynamics practice. We can do that for you very easily with our Accelerate program. So get in touch with us. We're more than happy to help, support, just give guidance if that's all you need right now. But we want to talk to more and more partners, Microsoft partners, and non-Microsoft partners. If you're currently selling other CRM or ERP solutions, other cloud solutions, maybe you haven't even moved into Transacting Cloud yet, get in touch and we can talk to you about how we can get you started with Dynamics 365. We'll talk to you more about the why and more about the how as well. But yeah, it's very simple. Just go on, fill in that form, click Accelerate now, and one of our Dynamics 365 experts will be in touch to talk to you more about it. Now, this slide might look like a lot of links, bit of information overload, but I just wanted to highlight this because there's some really great resources out there to help you as well, not just from Ingram Micro and our experts, but also Microsoft. It is a Microsoft solution, so they're bound to have a lot of resources available. You can create trial and demo environments. You can do learning paths. You can watch YouTube videos on demos and overviews and case studies. There's all sorts of stuff that's available to you. And again, we harness all this to make sure that we've got the very best of what Microsoft offer and the very best of what Ingram Micro offer to ensure that we're supporting our partners as best as possible when it comes to Dynamics 365. And just to highlight a couple of the links that were actually in that Dynamics 365 toolkit, one of them is the Dynamics 365 Consultations, a really great resource that's provided through Microsoft. And it's completely free of charge. If you're an Action Pack Silver or Gold Microsoft partner, then you can access these completely free using your advisory hours that you get as a partner. And you gain access to a partner technical consultant focused on Dynamics, focused on a particular area of Dynamics as well, whether that's Business Central, customer engagement, or unified operations, or even the Power Platform and human resources. So all those different areas of Dynamics 365 and the Power Platform, where you can get real one-to-one support from an expert at Microsoft to help you really upskill and really get you started in the best possible way, alongside Ingram Micro. There are also Dynamics 365 learning paths. There's over 300 of them. Now, there is one in particular that I would highlight to start with, which is Dynamics 365 Fundamentals. Really great learning path to have a bit of an overview of every single application that is available. And I'm not going to lie, it is about 12 hours long, that learning path. However, if you're interested in that kind of training, then that is something actually we provide at Ingram Micro, which takes around 90 minutes to 2 hours, and we can deliver that face-to-face over Teams, but we can deliver that training. And, but I would definitely really highlight the Microsoft Learn. I think, as I say, there's over 300 learning paths. So if you've got a particular area you want to put your focus, be it Business Central, maybe you're interested in Dynamics 365 sales, there will be multiple learning paths where you can start off at a very light level and then go more into the deep dive, more into the functionality, more into specifics, and more into the technical side of things as well. So Microsoft Learn is a brilliant place to start looking as well. Thing that Microsoft provide completely free of charge are these technical journeys for success. So whether you're at the point of getting started, whether you're at the point of, you've started and you want to grow your practice or you want to optimize your practice, again, Microsoft have got these technical enablement sessions that they provide completely free of charge to take you from beginner to expert in Dynamics 365 and the Power Platform, all areas of Dynamics as well, whether it's customer engagement, unified operations, or business central. These are available. They are free of charge. So again, we're really highlighting here that not only do we have a lot of this stuff with Ingram Micro, and we provide training and we provide the support and the implementation services and so on, but we really want to harness the best of what Microsoft has to give our partners the best possible foot forward when it comes to moving into Dynamics 365. And just to really highlight that as well, we really do have the best resources to support you. So whether you're at the point of starting, whether you're wanting to grow your practice, or whether you've got a good Dynamics practice and you want to optimize that, we've created what we call the Microsoft Partner Journey. And this is very much focused towards Dynamics 365. We do also have these for Microsoft 365 and Azure, but this one very much focused on Dynamics. And what we've done is we've built out a process and all these resources from technical and sales enablement and marketing enablement, both using Microsoft resources and Ingram Micro Cloud resources as well, brought together to give our partners the very best experience. And again, as I say, the best foot forward when you want to grow your practice, or when you want to start your practice. We've got the resources to do that in the best possible way. And this is just proof of that. And again, this is all free of charge as an Ingram Micro partner. So get in touch. We can go through this with you completely free, have a bit of a consultation, so to speak, a bit of a catch up and a chat to see where you're at, where you want to be, and how we can help you get there. But one thing's for sure, we can help you get there because we do have the best resources. And as part of those incredible resources, we have our Dynamics 365 Accelerate program, where there is no risk and there is no investment to our partners that want to get started with Dynamics 365. We take on a lot of the hassle, a lot of the work for you to make it so much easier. To the point where we've had partners where we've trained them in Dynamics with our free training, and within a week we've had our first opportunity. It's incredible to see, and it's amazing the amount of value we can add to our partners. Everything that we provide is really valuable when it comes to Dynamics 365. We've taken those reasons from before of why partners aren't currently transacting Dynamics and made them no longer a problem. We provide everything from the point of view of, as I say, let's say you're getting started. We provide that training. We help you get started. We provide pre-sales collateral so that if customers phone up and they want a conversation about CRM, ERP, you can do that much more confidently. We provide you with those elevator pitches and battle cards to do that. We also provide you with a pre-sales consultant as well. We have Dynamics 365 solutions architects all over the planet that want to support partners, and their role is to jump on calls with our partners to their customers to scope out those opportunities and ask those questions, those business process questions, to really understand the Dynamics 365 opportunity. So you can learn from the best as well. And to even find customers, we provide you with marketing. We provide you with email campaign marketing. We provide you with social media marketing. We provide you with anything that you need to help you market Dynamics effectively. We've seen partners that we've provided these collateral to start marketing on LinkedIn and Twitter. And it's absolutely amazing to see, and they're generating a lot of interest. And then with our pre-sale support, we're helping them actually win those deals, which is really valuable. And then once we've won that opportunity over, and the customer's very excited about Dynamics, we've demonstrated the solution to them, and they know that's what they want. That's when we can bring in our elite service providers to actually deliver, the actual implementation. They can scope out the opportunity, understand it properly, even in more detail, to understand exactly what's required. And they deliver the implementation and they deliver the ongoing support. And what's really valuable to our partners is not only do you, as our Ingram Micro partners, get to sell the licenses and own the relationship with your customer, so you get all the licensing revenue, all the nice Microsoft rebates, you also get a percentage of the implementation and the ongoing support costs as well. So even if you have nothing to do with that, you're still getting revenue on that, and you're still able to support your customers. So you become that one-stop shop. So we really do provide you with everything that you need in order to actually start a practice and then also optimize that practice. So you can offer your customers even more. You can grow your customer base and grow your business beyond maybe what you thought was possible. And we also provide lead generation services as well, using tooling like Cloud Ascent from Microsoft, and then also our own lead generation platforms to really support you in growing your business. So there's so much that we offer all as part of this program. And for me personally, I think it's the best Dynamics 365 program that's available on the planet. There's nothing else like this. We have the best people all over the globe that support our partners, and we're seeing opportunities come through very quickly. So you definitely don't want to miss out. And what we've actually been able to do with our Dynamics Accelerate program is take it to the next level. And that's what this Dynamics Angels program really does allow us to do. So if you look at the left-hand side there, you can see the process of the Dynamics Accelerate program. Our partners can transact the CSP, but our elite service providers pick up the professional services and the support, all while you do get a percentage of those costs. But you can earn more, and you can go down building a practice model. And as you can see there, you have where you can pick up as much of the professional services as you like. And this is actually where working with Dynamics Angels, with Cooper Parry as our elite service provider, we're allowing for partners to move around how much of the professional services they provide whilst picking up their wings along the way. So you can do all or some of the professional services, taking more of that revenue. So as you may already know, when you don't do any of the professional services, you can earn 10% of the professional services cost. But let's say you do an extra 20% of the work, you can get an extra 20% of the professional services cost, and you can do all or some of it. As I say, so this program, the Dynamics Angels program, really enables you to take your Dynamics practice to the next level. And not only does it help you speed up, I mean, I've heard the kind of average number of building an actual Dynamics practice, you're looking at around 18 months to 2 years. With this process, it's so much quicker. And not only are you able to implement Dynamics, you're actually able to implement Cooper Parry's templates and tooling. Basically, you'll gain access to Cooper Parry's secrets, and that will allow you to deploy Dynamics 365 so much faster for your customers, but also upskill you as a business to be able to do that. So this is something that's definitely worth taking up if you want to take that Dynamics practice to the next level. I mentioned we have the best elite service providers on the planet, and this isn't all of them. But just to give it an idea, we really do have those, whether it's in the UK, across EMEA, the US, we really do have the best elite service providers and Dynamics partners that can provide the implementation services and the ongoing support for you and your customers to ensure that your customers have the best Dynamics 365 experience, and to ensure that your customers stay with you, and you become that one-stop shop. You're owning that customer relationship through these partners that can provide amazing professional services. And as I say, it just ensures Dynamics 365 experience is a very positive one. So thank you very much for listening today. I really hope you've learned something around our Accelerate program, why you should be transacting Dynamics, the amazing resources that are out there to help you, including our Ingram Microcloud Dynamics 365 experts, as well as the resources that Microsoft have available to you. And again, we can support you in finding those resources. We have the Dynamics 365 toolkit. We can provide that to you. We have our Microsoft partner journey. We can provide that to you as well. So feel free to get in touch using the Dynamics 365 Accelerate website, and we're more than happy to help. And I really hope you've learned something about the application as well, and how that using Dynamics 365 can really enable an organization to do so much more. There are many more videos like this coming and more available now, so feel free to watch those as well, and you can learn more about the other Dynamics 365 applications. But if you would like a demo or anything like that, feel free to get in touch. We're more than happy to have one-to-one sessions also. Thank you very much.